Listening Library presents Star Darlings, Libby and the Class Election by Shayna Muldoon Zappa and Ahmet Zappa. Read for you by Kyla Garcia. Prologue. Top Secret Hollow Communication. Warning. This memorandum will disappear 5 seconds after it has been read. 2. The Star Darlings guest lecturers, Professor Margaret Dumar, Professor Dolores Ray, Professor Illumia Wicks, Professor Ilara Ursa, Professor Lucretia Delphinus, Professor Eugenia Bright. CC, Lady Cordial, Director of Admissions. From Lady Stella, Head Mistress. Regarding Star Darlings Update. To all. I am writing to inform you that Operation Star Darlings is up and running. My theory, that young starlings granting the wishes of young wishlings would result in a greater amount of wish energy, is correct. However, I have both good and bad news. The good news is that the mission was successful, and we collected a significant amount of wish energy. The bad news is there was a glitch in initial wisher identification, and the amount of wish energy that was collected was not quite as large as we had anticipated. What have we learned from this? It is clear we must continue to diligently support and train our Star Darlings so that the remaining 11 missions go seamlessly and we will be able to collect the most wish energy possible. When will the next mission happen? And who will be chosen? Only time will tell. But I am cautiously optimistic that Operation Star Darlings will be a success. Thank you for your help and your continued discretion. Starfully yours, Lady Stella. Chapter 1. The first thing Libby noticed when she blinked awake was the delightful scent that permeated her dorm room. She sat up in bed and inhaled the perfumed air. "Smells amazing, doesn't it?" asked Gemma. Libby looked over at her roommate lying in bed across the room. Gemma's bright orange hair, messy from sleep, formed a wild halo around her head as she lay there, sniffing deeply. The two girls turned their attention to the vase of coral-colored flowers that had been waiting for them in their dorm room when they returned from dinner the evening before. "I still can't figure out what kind of flowers they are," said Libby. "I don't recognize them, but they smell just like blush bells." Blush bells were her favorite flower. They were pink, released puffs of sparkling stardust, and had a sweetly spicy scent that she thought was simply the loveliest smell on all of Starland. "Blush bells?" Gemma snorted. "What are you talking about?" she said. "It smells like orange and vanilla ice pops, just like chatterbursts. I can't believe we're even having this conversation." She gave Libby a quizzical look. Libby liked to keep the peace. She usually carefully weighed her words before she spoke. But for some reason, she sat up in bed and heard herself say, rather forcefully in fact, "You're crazy." Gemma blinked in surprise. "No, you're crazy," she retorted. "You're as crazy as a bloom bug." Libby gave her roommate an annoyed look. Bloom bugs were small purple and pink spotted bugs that went wild every time there was a full moon during the warmer months of the time of Lumiere, hopping up and down and squealing with delight at the warmer weather and longer daylight hours the season brought. Gemma sniffed. "Well, no matter how crazy you are, you have to admit that this is the sweetest thing you've ever—" Her voice trailed off as she noticed that Libby had pulled her soft pink blanket over her head, obviously ignoring her. Gemma threw back the covers and nimbly hopped out of bed. She opened her closet and grabbed her bathrobe. "I call first stars on the sparkle shower," she cried. Libby sighed. Gemma had called first stars on the sparkle shower every day that week. They were supposed to take turns. She removed the covers and took a deep, calming breath. Then, another, for good measure. She smiled, feeling much better. There. No reason to get annoyed. She and Gemma were the perfect roommates, the envy of all the other star darlings. They got along well, accepting each other's idiosyncrasies, easily working through any issues that came up, and never letting resentments get in the way of their respect and affection for each other. Sure, Gemma had a mercurial personality, and Libby sometimes had difficulty making even the smallest decision without carefully weighing the pros and cons. Deciding what to order for dinner sometimes required the thought process others reserved for major life decisions. But they had similar live-and-let-live personalities that served them both well. So it really confounded Libby that she was feeling irked that morning, and over something as silly as a vase of flowers that would probably be wilted by the afternoon. Libby yawned and stretched. She slipped her feet into a pair of fluffy pink slippers and shuffled to the mysterious bouquet of flowers which was sitting on her pink desk, exactly where the two roommates had discovered it the night before, to their delight and surprise. She leaned over and took a deep sniff. She shook her head. The smell was actually more spicy than sweet, in her estimation, just like blush bells, no question about it. Maybe Gemma was teasing her. She sighed with happiness as she surveyed her half of the double room. She, like all incoming students at Starling Academy, had filled out an extensive questionnaire about her dorm room preferences. The results were spectacular. Her half of the room was pink, pink, and more pink as far as the eye could see, just as she had requested, from the round bed with its padded fabric headboard to the sumptuous rug, recessed wall lights, desk/vanity, and sparkling crystal chandelier. The lovely white lacquered dresser with spindly legs that stood in the corner was the sole non-pink touch. And the wide, low pink table was surrounded by luxurious floor cushions. It was the perfect place for friends to gather, and Libby often invited her classmates over to hang out during their free time. Luckily, Gemma was very social and fun-loving too. But on the occasional day that she wasn't in the mood for company, she would just draw the starry curtain that ran along the middle of the room, climb into bed, and read or listen to music. But she could usually be coaxed to join in when the conversation got too good to ignore. Gemma stepped into the room. Her skin glimmered, covered in a fresh layer of sparkles from her shower. Star darlings were born with glittery skin and hair, but a daily sparkle shower helped keep them as luminous as possible. Libby headed in next, and the sparkle shower, invigorating and refreshing, cleared her mind and improved her mood. She applied her tooth light, first to the top row, then to the bottom. Starlings used their tooth lights twice a day, in the morning and the evening, to keep their teeth as clean, white, and sparkly as could be. Libby put her tooth light back in the mirrored cabinet, closed it, and stared at her reflection for a moment, taking in her long pink hair, alabaster skin, rose-colored eyes, and dimpled chin. She smiled at her reflection and headed back into the other room. She found Gemma sitting on her bed, tying her yellow shoelaces. She had put on an orange mesh 3/4 length sleeved shirt over an orange tank top and matching capri pants, and pulled her hair into 2 cute pigtails. She looked effortlessly hip, as always. As soon as she spotted Libby, she launched right back into the conversation, as though no time had passed. "So, wouldn't you agree that they are the most delicious-smelling flowers ever? I mean, I have never smelled anything so sweet in my entire life. No lie.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?